A little more background on our positioning. What I'm trying to do here with self-speak programming is to harness the power, the same power used by social media companies, big tech companies, and billion-dollar consumer product companies. These are the ones who I see marketing to us all day long through advertising and through other digital channels. So we're really trying to harness that very same power, but focus it very narrowly on an audience of one, the one person who is our user. That's the positioning. That's what this is all about. Self-speak programming is a way of integrating every important habit and goal in your life in one place, in one system for giving you reminders throughout the day. That's what's different. Every book on habits has great advice on habits. Every online course has great advice. But as far as I can tell, there's no one way of packaging it in a program where you essentially install it in your brain and you get automatic reminders throughout the day telling you exactly what to do in using all of your senses. So that's what's different about self-speak programming. There's so many websites and businesses already in the personal development space trying to tell you how to have one slice of the good life. Meditation is a good piece of the puzzle. Yoga is a piece of the puzzle. But there's only one app that I know of that's trying to integrate every one of these good principles and systematize it for you in a way that it becomes an unconscious effort to do these habits. And that is what self-speak programming is about. We've got to keep things really simple. That's part of the challenge. The danger is going to be making this overly complicated, offering too many things, too many features, and having a prospect come into the website, get lost, and give up. Or someone buy it and not get through the startup, and therefore they're not using it. That's a big challenge we face. We've got to figure out a way of making this easy to use. And certainly for a lot of people, we have to figure out a way that they get up and running in 5 minutes. They might not want to program every single aspect of their life, but if we can get them to buy into a persona that resonates with them and they can get the whole thing up and running in 5 minutes and installed, that's an audience we absolutely have to reach. So in a sense, our competition is it's Facebook, it's Google, it's Netflix, notifications. So we do have competition. Everyone has competition. But there's no one website or app trying to do what we're trying to do with self-speak program that I've ever heard of. Yes, there are apps that try to help people with habits, but they're not using the power, the constant power of advertising and media and multimedia messaging and the power of repetition to make it happen. They're using old school methods, whereas I want to use the latest of advertising and digital media to influence human behavior. So that's really what's different. We want our users to feel like they're entering a special world. If you've seen the show Westworld on HBO, there's this Dr. Ford character. Now there's plenty of things you might not like about him, and he's obviously very manipulative, creating robots and influencing people. But I do want individuals to essentially feel like they are their own Dr. Ford. They are controlling and programming not a host or a robot, but programming themselves the way they want to be. It's a way for individuals to, hope this doesn't offend anyone, essentially play God with their own life, not with other people's lives, but with their own life. And I think that this is going to be highly attractive to people, and we can create a community of people who are very passionate about this. And this community can end up being evangelist for this lifestyle. And people can get highly competitive in creating narratives. They create a narrative for their own life, and therefore all the affirmations, all the daily habits, all the goals they need to help them get there. And on our Facebook page or some other community site, we can have these different narratives competing, and it may be identified completely with the individual who created it. They may want to come up with a whole new name and just a digital icon for it. And we can have, perhaps the top 20 or 30 or hundreds of narratives where people can go in, read about this person, look about this person's life, and then figure out how they can have the same programming in their brain. They might not get the exact same life, but they'll be headed in the same direction of that person, of that narrative, because they have structured their daily habits the same way. So that's getting a little ahead of ourselves, but that is the ultimate, one way this could ultimately evolve into a very, very powerful, powerful way. We want to have communities of people who really care about taking control of their own life, and then community leaders who want to help other people do this. These would be unpaid positions. This would just be natural, spontaneous community leaders coming up. And if we can do this, then I think this truly is a billion-dollar company. If we can reach scale and reach millions of people and have them paying for it on a monthly basis, and they see how it's radically transforming their life, then this does truly become a billion-dollar company. This is about controlling your own life. Selfie-Speak programming enables you to live your own dreams, to make your dreams come true. And it's not at all like the law of attraction, where you just visualize your mansion and 6 months later you're living in a mansion. You've gone from a dump or a slum or public housing to a mansion. No, it's not that kind of pie in the sky selling dreams and nonsense. It's about rigorously designing how you spend most of your waking time, what you're actually doing, and the habits you're doing. So that's what it's about. I don't see anyone else doing that now. If I had to sum it up in one sentence, Selfie-Speak programming helps you create and stick to the daily habits you need to live your ideal life. That's not poetic yet, but that does somewhat sum things up. So we're not just a course, we're not just an app. Are we possibly lifestyle design software? That's one phrase I'm kicking around. Lifestyle programming? That's a phrase I'm kicking around. If we can, Tim Ferriss has popularized the idea of lifestyle design. What I like about lifestyle programming is it follows the computer analogy even more and makes things set. Because you can design a house, never start building it. Lifestyle programming, you're actually programming it. Once you hit on, it's going to start running. And that's what our goal is here, to automate, to program you listening to an audio every day telling you what your habits are, what your philosophies, what your thoughts are, to watch a video every day telling you exactly what habits you're going to fulfill today. So that's why I like this concept of lifestyle programming as an overall umbrella term. We're the only ones in this niche, and that way I think we're similar to Uber. Yes, there were technology companies before, there were cab companies before, there were limo services before, there were apps before, but Uber really did create something truly new. It was unique, it's different. And I think that that's what Selfie-Speak programming is. We're taking things from different spheres and connecting it in a way that creates a radically different experience for human beings. And you may hate Uber for other reasons, and yes, it's not great for employees and drivers, but it does create a radically different experience for someone traveling. To not stand in the rain for 40 minutes in the cold, hoping a cab mops by, rather than pushing a button and then walking out of your hotel and there's a car for different experience. Similarly, what Selfie-Speak programming is going to do is, I think, simplify and radically make easier the the goal of people following habits. Anyone can follow good habits, but it's kind of as hard as hailing a cab on a cold, rainy night. You could do it, but it's painful to do. Every time it's a little bit different, it's piecemeal. So the analogy being, the old way of getting your habits is hard as standing in a rainstorm, cold night at midnight to catch a cab versus pushing a button for Uber. We want to make it that big of a change, that big of a transformation when it comes to you creating the daily habits you need in order to live the life you want. Our goal is to become more and more entrenched with our users, to get more feedback, to get this loop going, continuously improving the images, the advertisements, the messages, the affirmations, to make it more and more valuable for our customers.